I am the biggest nerd in the room. I went to graduate school for differential geometry. My first job out of school was being able to tell the sound of a Soviet sub from a whale. So I wrote software to do that. I ended up on Wall Street. And then I ended up with Steve Jobs at Next Computer. And I was there when we merged with Apple. And so in 1997, when the Prey cover came out on Wired, I was actually an Apple employee. And I decided to start my own company, the Big Nerd Ranch, and bring together great engineers and designers and take care of the technical end of all the problems that you all are facing. So when I come to this conference, I see things really from the nerd end of things. I know it's a marketing and technology. I am the technology end of the spectrum. And so I thought I would share what's going on, what I'm thinking about, and I thought you might find it interesting. That looks like the background. Slides? There we go. So, Big Nerd Ranch. I started Big Nerd Ranch. I've been hiring engineers. We wrote the standard books on iOS development and Android development. We became the darling of Google and LinkedIn and Amazon. These are my customers. And whoa, what's going on? Can you get back to like the second slide? Thanks. One more. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's so. Marketing to me has always been a source of frustration because I was raised in the time when there were 4 TV channels and I had to watch Preparation H commercials. I went to my kids and I asked them at dinner, I said, do you guys know what Preparation H is? And they said, we have no idea. I said, see, you have it so much better than we do. We're entering a new era. And Google's really showing us the way, right? It's a nerdy company. And they're doing all the things that Tamara is talking about. Is Google and these sorts of companies that are very nerdy are working on them. So I'm really glad she did that talk because I'm going to assume that you already have accepted that things are changing really rapidly. And it's because of companies like Google showing us what is possible. And their motto is don't be evil. And so I started thinking about this idea that marketing has been filled with jerks for 100 years. And now suddenly, we're coming into this new era, and I thought about this other thing from my childhood, which is the Bad News Bears, right? There's the ne'er-do-well Coach Buttermaker, and he comes on, and he helps the kids, and he redeems himself. And it's because the environment has changed that he lives in. And he has come up with an opportunity where not only is it an opportunity to do the right thing, it's the easy thing, in some sense, is to do the right thing. And we're entering that. And it's really about a partnership between nerds like me and the CMOs of the world. So, as I said, let me tell you how I got here. I ended up sitting next to Sinan randomly at some bar in a restaurant. We were eating dinner, and I started telling him all about my company, and he says, how come I have never heard of you? And so he invited me up on stage, and so this is a great opportunity for me to share who I am. So thank you, Sinan. So let's talk about what we're seeing. First of all, advertising has to be targeted. There's an incredible fragmentation of media. There's more channels, there's more websites. How do we find the right people to show the right ads to? We're talking about personalization, location-based services. It's not just the Don Drapers of the world that are going to be involved. It's a partnership between Don Draper and the math nerd. And it's a long-term partnership. It's not something that happens really quickly. And what I want to talk about today is rethinking this partnership in terms of this redemption story. A lot of our customers come in and they say, our competitors are doing this and our users expect this, and so we have to do this thing. Will you do it for us? We say, sure, we'll write that software. It's incredibly expensive and it's going to take a long time. And when we roll it out, we're going to find a bunch of stuff we did wrong and we're going to have to alter the product to fit what people really want. It is a partnership that goes on, and we do it hand in hand. You don't just come up with the idea and throw it over the wall to us, and it's expensive. So I go through all that, and they're like, But it's a new era. It's an era of redemption for marketing. It's a time for marketing to actually become beloved in our communities the way people adore Google. They can adore your brands as well. by creating technology that's genuinely useful, and by keeping my kids from seeing Preparation H ads. There's lots of other opportunities to do the right thing and get paid for it. We're looking at new markets. So when we talk about the developing nation, there's more and more cell phones in the developing nations. They've never had a PC. They may never have had running water, but they have a smartphone. Older users are starting to use this. Users with disabilities, there are accessibility features built into your phone that you're not using, but they're crucial to someone who's blind. This is opportunities for us to reach new markets. Facebook, some of the most amazing engineering going on right now is in the Android Facebook Lite app. They have radically changed the way they're doing data communication so that it uses about 1/100th of the data, and it works on unreliable networks. You lose connectivity for a while, it's pre-cached a bunch of images and things so you can keep enjoying the Facebook app. It's incredible engineering. It's opening up new markets. And as we're adding new markets, as people in the developing world become important, and as people with disabilities become important, and we start to think of them as a market, we're going to meet their needs. It's a form of inclusion, and it's a really powerful idea. And this is my quote. I went looking for someone who had said something like this, but this is it. You are part of the world economy when someone tries to sell you cigarettes. When you reach that point, you are now a market, and people are going to worry about what you want and meeting your needs. And that's a really big step forward right now. Reviews. This is maddening to marketers everywhere, is that they ship a product and then a few bad reviews come out on some website or on your Amazon reviews. This is also an incredible opportunity for you to say, you know what, it's not enough to think about advertising. Advertising is dead. We need to be involved much earlier in designing the product to be what people actually want and test it. And marketing can serve that role as well. So this is a scary thing, but it's an opportunity. Good software improves the product. This is one of our clients. This is the Whirlpool Smart Dryer. And it has a Wi-Fi card in it. And you can say, start my drying when the price of electricity drops. And that night when the price of electricity drops, the dryer will start itself. It will save you money. It'll make it easier for the power grid to take care of your needs. It's good software. It's improving the product. So once again, we don't have to wait. We don't have to create something people don't want and then later on try and sell them the thing they don't want. Instead, let's start at the beginning and make something incredible. This is not, so in software we talk a lot about the minimum viable product and failing fast. This is sort of the opposite. It is a very diverse world. You need to bring something great to market if you want to dominate. And I think it's worth making that investment up front to make something great and world-changing that people are going to recognize immediately as what they want and not going for the minimum viable product. Customization. This is really hard to do, but brands that are doing it well are reaping the benefits. This is the Van site. $90, you get to customize like 19 different things on this shoe. They manufacture the shoe and send it to you. This is a triumph of technology, but it lets people create the products they want, and we're going to see more and more of this sort of customization. At the same time, we need to make sure that we're maintaining trust. Our users are sharing more and more data with us, more and more intimate data, and we need to make sure, for example, the breaches don't happen. The unenroll me fiasco, it was, as you said, it was in the fine print what it all said, but no one really understood. And so we have to educate our users that they're making us a trade. They're getting this convenience for giving up this sort of privacy. And by and large, I think it's going to wash over, and users love getting things for free, and they don't actually treasure their privacy nearly as much as we think they might. So I just lost that again. Is that me? Oh, thank you. So, is that my last slide? I think I have 2 more. Well, I'll tell you what I was going to say. There we are. One of the interesting things that's coming up is AR and VR. And this is VR, where you actually can't see what's going on in the world. And it's interesting thinking about how we have moved to a world where we multitask all the time. And it used to be maybe you would watch a TV show every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And then it just became, well, I'll watch that on my device while I'm doing the laundry. Listen to records. You put a record on the record player, and you had to actually, deal with the needle, and you turn it over, and you listen. That was like an event unto itself. It'll be interesting to see if VR creates that sort of thing where you do not multitask, where you simply immerse yourself in that experience. AR is a little bit different in that you actually see the world around you, and it's augmented, whether that's a game or whether it's some sort of information, but it doesn't take you out of the world, and will probably promote even more multitasking. So that's another great opportunity. In all of this, you need a partner, and that's why I came, is to tell you that Big Nerd Ranch should be your partner. I knew you saw that coming. We would love to design and develop your software. We're based in Atlanta. We have 75 amazing people. We also do training. So we train the engineers at Google on Android. We train, whenever a company thinks we should be mobile first, a big success, like LinkedIn did it, and then Amazon did it, Facebook did it, they have Big Nerd Ranch come in and train their engineers. And we help them make that transition from a web-based world primarily to a mobile-first approach. And we would love to help with that. One of the things we also do is we will come in and look at your user experience and your code. We'll just review through it. We'll give you a nice report. We'll stand up and tell you the reality of what it is. A lot of times a new leader comes in and there's been $1 gazillion spent on some piece of software that doesn't seem to be very adaptable. Every time they ask for a new feature, it takes 3 weeks and a bunch of bugs are added in. It's nice to have a third party come in and tell you if it's good code or bad code, if it should be thrown out or if it can be improved. So we'd be happy to help with that. I'm here. Here's my Twitter handle, my email address, and I'll be around, so if you have any questions, please let me know. All right? Thank you.